It's really interesting. I was sitting here thinking about some of the characteristics that we have to cover. You are now on the No Time to Waste podcast, and we want to just thank you. Number one, because although we have, you know, a good number of days left in this journey, the days are counting and ticking away. We talked in the last episode about the three interesting behavioral characteristics that really will derail you being pride, stubbornness, and arrogance. But today, we're going to touch on temper. Temper and temperament is going to be critical in achieving success. We have to manage our temper and our temperament. Why is that important? Bad temper or the inability to control one's temper can really create a lot of problems. We will really kind of parse through this. One of the temperament issues that we need to manage is aggression or aggressive behavior. Do you know how you're driving and you're looking for a parking space and you see a person and they're trying to turn into the closest space, and then all of a sudden you don't want to let them in or they don't want to let you in? That aggressiveness does not win friends and influence people. Actually, what it does, it can actually create, it can unleash a whole just series of unfortunate events because we really don't know where a person is on any given point in a day. And it's just amazing the aggressive behavior that you see and experience. Well, I want to first share that we have to know how to handle it. When you've been on the planet for 5 decades or more, you know that you can't just respond to every aggressive moment with aggression because it fire doesn't put out fire. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work. And nor does putting oil on fire, that does not cause the fire to subside. But when we understand the importance of winning friends and influencing people, we begin to handle displays of aggression in a different way. And it's so important that this one, aggressive behavior, that be avoided, especially when engaging with others. You can be aggressive in the gym, you can be aggressive on the treadmill, you can be aggressive in the swimming pool. Those places are good for expression on the football field or on the basketball court as long as you are playing by the rules. The key is negative aggression is never good. And so aggressive behavior or being aggressive toward others does not encourage them to follow you. People are human and humans make mistakes. When we overly aggressively address mistakes, it creates challenges. So, aggressiveness, that's something that we have to manage. Hostility. Hostility is unfortunate, but we see it a lot in a lot of people. Have you ever been driving? And I'm always using driving examples because we drive a lot, but have you ever been driving and a person won't let you in? What is the thought process behind that? Or have you ever seen this where you weren't paying attention and the lane ahead of you, it's shrinking. So you have to get into this lane because the lane is shrinking. So two lanes are turning into one, but because you didn't notice it for whatever reason, you waited too late to move over and now you're at the end where there is no more opportunity and the person won't let you in. What is the logic of that? I just it boggles the imagination. So, what lesson are we teaching by not allowing the person to merge? Where's the wisdom in that? Where's the 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 rational thought in that? I've been in the car with people driving and they say, "No, they should have merged back there. I'm not letting them in." I'm like, "What do you let the guy in?" Right? What are we proving? So that kind of behavior, hostility, it actually can lead to other problems and other complications. What if the person you didn't let in has a temper? management or anger management issue? What if that person is unstable? Realizing that when we're driving on a road, the majority of people that are driving, they're dealing with something, because the majority of humans are dealing with something. Life is not an easy journey. And we know this because we've been here for a minute. This doesn't get easier, it gets interesting, but it's not easy. So, why not give a free pass to this person? Give them a pass. So that's what we have to learn. When it seems like people are doing something against you, doing something offensive, let's just practice giving them a pass, right? Let's issue benefit of the doubt cards, the BOD, okay? The benefit of the doubt. Let's give that to people. Let's give them a pass and allow them the opportunity to be human. Let's meet their humanity with compassion. Let's not meet their humanity with hostility. If we meet their humanity with compassion, we win friends, and thereby we are able to better influence people. What's the next behavior that we want to avoid is anger. Anger is never good. Anger does not produce any positive outcome. Being angry, being angry, which many people, anger is a normal human emotion. All people get angry about something. But the majority of people, when faced with anger, they don't know how to handle it. And oftentimes, anger is displaced. We can spend all of our lives managing anger, or we can spend a portion of our life managing the issue and never having to deal with it in the future. Here's what's interesting: your temper is going to determine your outcome. Your temper and your temperament is going to determine your outcome. If we are not managing anger, frustration, hostility, and aggression in a positive manner, it is going to, it's like the five sisters that are set up, the four rather, that are set up to destroy us. I'm going to say that anger, hostility, frustration, um, all of those things, aggressiveness, those are going to lead to people resisting us. And if we're in life to win friends and influence people, that's how we achieve success. Everything my wife and I have been able to achieve, we did it with the assistance of others. If we're going to engage people, we've got to do it in a far different way. And so, therefore, those are the behavioral characteristics today that we're going to really, really put on our target list and eliminate them. So, how do we do it? How do we handle anger, hostility, frustration? How do we handle that? How do we manage our temper? How do we handle the feeling of aggressiveness? I'm going to encourage everyone. It's a very, very simple thing. Just take a moment to think: what could explain this person's behavior? What is the reason that could be causing them to act in this particular character space? And give them the benefit of the doubt. Just assume that they're dealing with something that's far greater than we know, and let's give them their space. When I notice people that are very aggressive or very hostile, I actually retreat. I'm getting away from them, because the world is full of unstable people. So sometimes there's a concept, well, I'm going to stand my ground. Well, I would submit that it is easier to say, "Pardon me, I am so sorry. I'm not sure. Excuse me." To be the person to say, "Excuse me," even though you weren't the person that created the impact. So I've had people bump me in a store. One of the big box stores were pushing the cart, and then they bump you, and I said, "Oh, sorry. Pardon me." I don't want to be that guy that they were trying to provoke because they were trying to take it to another level. You don't want to be that. And the reason is because life is short. Remember, we made it to this point by faith and focus and the mercy of God. We don't want to derail the next 50 years or the next 48 years or 49 years because we are failing to demonstrate proper etiquette and good behavior. So, I'm going to encourage each and every person that when we are met with hostility and aggression, let's respond with compassion. Let's respond with empathy. Let's believe that this person is dealing with something far greater than we know. And I believe that extending that grace and that mercy to others will engage them in a positive way. I know there are people that are watching that consistently run into bad encounters with people. They consistently, bad things happen to them. They're always in an argument with someone. Things are always difficult. They never get a break. Things never work out well for them. That's a real reality for a lot of people, but you don't have to choose, or you don't have to stay in that reality. You can actually change out of that. You don't have to be that person that bad things always happen. That's not that really is a direct reflection on what's going on in our minds and what's actually inside of us. Things Bad things do happen to some people consistently, but they're expecting bad things to happen. Many times our outcome is predicted by our own expectation. So if we're expecting to lose, or we're expecting that things won't work, or we're expecting that people will give us a hard time, things don't work, we do lose, and people do give us a hard time because your expectation typically will be met. Not just a random, vague expectation, but an expectation that you've empowered with belief. So if you actually believe that things will not work out well for you, they're not going to work out. You can watch all of the podcasts, you can participate in every exercise. But if you actually believe in your heart that things will not work out, they will not work out. By shifting what we believe, we can actually change our outcome. That's been proven. There's fact on that. And there is a book that I would also encourage called, and I mentioned it before, Intentional Living by John Maxwell. Literally, he goes through a process of changing the way that you think and believe so that you can achieve better outcome. The way that I interact with people on a normal basis, sometimes maybe I look crazy, I don't know, but I'm in the grocery store, or I'm in the big box store pushing the cart, and I'm smiling. And maybe they're thinking, man, what in the world is wrong with that guy? But in my mind, what I'm thinking is I want to share on the outside what's going on the inside. So I typically try to have a positive countenance. If you realize that people are watching you, even when you don't realize they're watching you, maybe it would cause us all to behave a little differently. If we're going to win friends and influence people, if we're going to engage others to actually assist us in achieving something bigger than what we could achieve alone, it is going to take that winning personality, that positive energy. It is critical. You have that within you. It is there, regardless of what you may have faced, regardless of what you may have gone through. There is something in there that the world needs to hear about. There's something that you have to offer. Current culture tells us that if you've gone through hardship and trial, the world is against you. I would challenge you that if you've gone through tragedy, hardship, setback, that is all the bedrock of greatness. That those things that have happened, there are lessons in there for the world to learn, positive lessons, because through it all, you're here. Through it all, you're here. I was watching a news program, and typically I don't watch the news. That was a habit that I had in the old days. And when I say the old days, before we started this 365 days of transformation, I would actually watch the news for hours each day. Hours, not just minutes, hours. So recently, I just happened to pay attention to one of the news anchors, and I realized that this guy was really, really sharp, and he was really sharing some good information. And when the camera backed away from him, he was so good, I actually stopped to stand there to listen. But when the camera pulled back and you could see him, he has no legs. And I was thinking, that guy is so positive. and he has no legs. How many of us are taking for granted the fact that we have legs? The ability to just have daily bodily function is a gift, and we're wasting our gifts by using negative energy and negative behaviors to really sideline the blessings that we have. We're focusing on the things that have happened to us and not looking at what we were able to come out of it with, right? So things happen. Bad things happen to good people. We know that. There's no immunity for any of us from calamity, tragedy, um, uh, nothing, setback, discouragement. It happens to all of us. But what are we going to do with it? What is going to be our mind posture and our heart posture coming out of it? Do we want someone else just to simply feel the pain that we felt? Or would we like to actually have a positive impact on others by sharing the lesson that was learned through that process and that journey? I believe that the latter will give you more fulfillment trying to share with others the wisdom of the lessons that you've gone through than either holding them or harboring them with feelings of anger and aggression. The majority of people that you run into that are angry, hostile, aggressive, they're managing emotions based on experiences that they've had, that they feel they've been subjected to. And I would challenge you to meet that anger, aggression, and hostility with compassion and extend empathy and let the light of positivity shine so that they can see that even when they do something that's offensive, even when they do something that is disregarding, that you're giving them that pass, the benefit of the doubt. I believe that if we do that and we give them that get out of jail free card, freely, liberally issue those cards instead of keeping that person in the bondage of our anger, in the bondage of our frustration. Let's not do that. I believe that as we transform and we begin to realize the potential and the possibility that's still ahead of us, that we look at our lives now not as closing in to the conclusion, but launching. If we begin to look at things differently, there is actually no limit to what we're able to achieve. There are actually people that are waiting to join with you, people that want to be a part of your journey, people that want to be on the road to your destiny. But in order to do it, in order for them to come, we have to learn how to win friends and influence people. And remember, those are not concepts of deception or undue influence, but they're really concepts of character building. Dale Carnegie breaks it down, and it's all about us. It's all about the character that we develop. It's about the people that we become. It's about what's going on inside of our heads. So, taking the attention off of us, putting the attention on others, recognizing that there are some people that are caught in a trap of anger, aggression, and hostility, and us not carrying those items, period. Meeting them with empathy and compassion, and understanding that the better we get at this, the more destined our greatness is to become. And I just want you to imagine for 1 second that people are truly our prosperity. The more people we're able to lead, the more people we're able to encourage, the more people we're able to inspire, the richer and fuller our lives are. And we've all got that capacity. We just have to make the decision to actually use it. With that being said, I want to thank you for tuning into the No Time to Waste podcast. It is my pleasure to be on this journey with you. Remember, we only have not so many weeks left. 365 days, believe it or not, is a lot of days. And we're going to make it through each and every one. I'm so proud to be on the journey with you. I think I shared in a previous episode that we've got a webinar coming up. The moment you see it on social, you want to join and be a part of it. It's going to be incredible and it'll be very enriching for those that are looking for opportunities and strategies to be able to increase positive revenue and cash flow. I believe it'll be incredible, and we're excited to be able to share. That webinar will be coming up soon. Make certain to become a part of it. With that being said, let's go out here and seize the day. Let's build positive characteristics and character traits that people will speak of us and say, man, he is really this or she is really that. But let it be a positive this and that that they're referencing, not something that's negative. So thank you again, Care Michigan, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care for now.